Hello and welcome back to my kitchen. Today we're going to make some delicious fried rice, one of my favourites. Fried rice is a dish that you'll find enjoyed in many Asian countries, and here in Australia people from all different cultures have learnt to enjoy fried rice. So let's learn how to make this beautiful, simple, delicious dish, and let's get cooking. The first thing that we need to do is to cook our rice. Because it needs time not only to cook but to cool down. If you don't give it time to cool down, you're going to end up with gluggy rice, and it's just not quite the same. Now there's different ways to cook your rice. You could put it in a rice cooker, or you could boil it on the stove top and cook it in the water until it's cooked, or you could put it in the oven. I'm going to put mine in the oven, and it works kind of the same way as using a rice cooker. I'm going to put 1 cup of my rice into my bowl, 1 cup of hot water so that it starts cooking early, and maybe another 1/4 of a cup. Put the lid on and it goes straight into the oven. When I cook my rice this way, it takes about a half an hour to cook, and then I need to pull it out and let it cool. While I'm waiting for my rice to cook, I'm going to prepare my vegetables. I'm going to chop some carrot, celery, some spring onions. I've got my peas sitting ready, and I will cook my egg. But first, chop. Put the vegetables up into little pieces. Remember, knives are sharp, so we keep our fingers away from the blade. I'm going to chop my celery into little pieces. There's lots of different things that you can put into fried rice. You can put bacon, chicken, some people love prawns, corn. I think I'll put some tofu into mine. Okay, I'm going to put that on my plate. Time to chop the carrot. Cut the ends off. Now I haven't peeled my carrot, can you see that? That's because all the goodness, nutritions, so much of it sits right underneath skin, so it's really healthy to keep the skin. Can you see, to chop into tiny pieces, I've started by cutting into carrot sticks, and then I can turn it around, chop like this, and I end up with those tiny little pieces. This is called dicing, chopping into these little pieces. That's a lot of carrot. I might not need it all. Put that on my plate. Use for later. And finally, onion. Now if you've got a spring onion, you'll see that there's this leafy bit and the firm bit. I'm going to use the firm bit for cooking with the rest of my vegetables. I'm going to use the leafy bit to throw in at the end. So keep it all. Chop it nice and thin. Okay, that's my fleshy bit that'll go in the pan. And this is the bit that I'm going to stir in at the end. Keep that separate. Now, I said I'd like some tofu, so I've got some nice tofu here that I'm going to chop up and add to my fried rice. And I dice the tofu to my plate. Would you like to see my plate now? It's quite full. Now, of course, you don't need an egg to go into your fried rice, but if you'd like a little bit of scrambled egg, here's what we do. Just take your egg, crack it into your mixing bowl, and then whisk it up with your fork until it's mixed through. There you go, that's looking nicely mixed. That's ready to cook. To cook your egg, you need a nice hot pan, some oil, just to make sure it doesn't stick, spray it in. And when the pan is nice and hot, I pour my egg in. I'm just going to let it sit there for a little while, and I'll start to move it around. You can see it's cooking already. I'm going to use my flipper. As the egg starts to cook, I just move it around so that the uncooked egg can have a chance to get in there and cook up as well. It doesn't take very long. I've taken my rice out of the oven and I'm going to check and see if it's ready. And that feels beautifully cooked. So now I'm going to let it cool down, ready for the final step of making my fried rice. Okay, it's time for the fun part, the cooking. Let's have a look at what I need to cook my fried rice. I've got everything ready. My rice is cool and dry. I've got all the ingredients that I chopped before, my egg, and I've got some vegetable oil. Soy sauce is the main one. If you have it and you'd like to, you can add some oyster sauce and some sesame oil, but you don't have to. This is a very simple dish. Now you need a fry pan or a wok to cook in. In Asian cooking, it's traditional to cook in a wok for frying foods. You can see that mine looks very old. This was my mum's wok, and I should get a new one, but I love cooking in this old thing. I've turned my stove on to a high heat. I'm going to add some vegetable oil. Just a drizzle is fine. And when the oil is nice and hot, we're going to start cooking. We're going to start with the onions and any harder vegetables that you've got so that we can soften them up a little bit. You can feel by putting my hand just here that this pan is nice and hot. I'm going to put my onions in first, not those green ones. Remember, these fleshy, firm onions. And if you're using any bacon or something that needs to be cooked, then you can put it in with your onions. I'm also going to add my celery and my carrot because I want them to soften up a little bit first. Every now and then just give it a little bit of a stir so that the different parts of the vegetables can cook. When I'm happy that they've softened, it's time to add the rice. You can give that a bit of a stir too. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. 1, 2, a teaspoon of oyster sauce if you want to, you don't have to. A little drizzle of sesame oil. Mix it up again. Starting to smell really good. Now that's looking pretty good. When you're happy that it's all mixed together, it's time to add the rest of your ingredients. Tofu, spring onion, you've got peas, maybe you've got some corn. My egg. Now notice that I've chopped my egg up into little pieces. Okay. And mix it through again. And that is ready to serve up. This makes a yummy lunch or dinner, or even a delicious side dish to some other meal. What do you think? I know what I think. I think it's time for lunch. So I am going to say goodbye. Cooking time is finished. Go and enjoy your fried rice. Bye.